Madam Deputy Speaker, it should have been obvious straight away to anyone with even a basic sympathy for the norms of liberal education that pausing the Act was a mistake. It should have been clear again when over 650 academics signed a letter to the Times decrying the decision that pausing the Act was a mistake. But the Secretary of State still did not budge from her position. Those with natural sympathies to the Secretary of State's own political positions were compelled into telling her that she was wrong. And it's only now, after all that humiliation, that she's finally changed her footing.
Madam Deputy Speaker, imagine a world where the pillars of liberal education are crumbling, where academic freedom is under threat, and where the very essence of learning is compromised by political negligence. Today, we uncover a controversy that has left the academic community and the nation in shock. This is a tale of resistance, defiance, and ultimate reckoning. Stay with us as we unravel the truth behind this monumental policy blunder. But before we dive deeper into this critical issue, if you're passionate about uncovering the untold truths and staying informed on the latest in British politics, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Join our community of truth seekers. Madam Deputy Speaker, it should have been glaringly obvious from the outset that pausing the Act was a grave mistake. This sentiment wasn't just whispered in corridors, but echoed loudly across academic institutions. The decision drew widespread condemnation, with over 650 academics signing a letter to the Times, vehemently opposing this move. Yet the Secretary of State remained steadfast in her stance, impervious to the mounting criticism. The resistance wasn't limited to political adversaries. Even those aligned with her ideology found themselves compelled to voice dissent, acknowledging that her position was untenable.
They are much more interested in virtue signalling than what is right for the country. More interested in listening to student union advisers.
Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, one of my many predecessors under the last government, the former member for Chippenham, was unable to set out how the then government's proposals would prevent Holocaust deniers coming on to campus. Let me be clear. Holocaust denial has no place on campus or anywhere else in our society, and the previous legislation would have emboldened Holocaust denial and showed a shameful disregard for the welfare of Jewish students.
It is only after enduring considerable public and political humiliation that she has finally reconsidered her stance. Throughout this ordeal, the focus seemed more on virtue signaling than on making decisions that genuinely benefit the country. The influence of student union advisors appeared to overshadow rational policymaking. To draw a parallel, one of my predecessors during the last government faced a similar challenge. The former member for CHOM struggled to articulate how the then government's proposals would prevent Holocaust deniers from exploiting academic platforms. This is a critical issue. Holocaust denial has no place on our campuses or anywhere in society. The previous legislation risked legitimizing such dangerous ideologies, showing a blatant disregard for the welfare of Jewish students. This is not just about political posturing. It's about safeguarding the integrity of our educational institutions and protecting vulnerable communities. Madam Deputy Speaker, the turning point came not from within the halls of power, but from the relentless voices of those who refused to be silenced. The unwavering stand of academics, students, and concerned citizens forced a reevaluation. The Secretary of State's eventual change of footing marks a significant, albeit delayed, victory for those who believe in the sanctity of education and the necessity of inclusive, safe learning environments. As we reflect on this episode, it's clear that vigilance and vocal opposition are essential in holding our leaders accountable. This isn't just about one act or one decision. It's about setting a precedent for how we approach education and the values we uphold as a society. The lessons learned here must guide future policies to ensure that mistakes of this magnitude are not repeated. The fight for academic freedom, for truth, and for justice continues.